Hello. In this video, you will find information regarding Charter Trustline Council membership, elections, and rules of order and procedure. More specifically, we will be covering requirements regarding council membership, how to properly hold elections for available council positions, and lastly, how your council should use your rules of order and procedure in compliance with state law. Your Charter Trust Land Council is responsible for creating the School Land Trust Plan, adopting a Rules of Order and Procedure, advising and making recommendations on the Teacher and Student Success Plan, Positive Behavior Plan, and school safety principles including safe technology usage and digital citizenship. To form your Charter Trustline Council, your school has two options. First, your Charter Governing Board may serve as the school's Charter Trustline Council if the governing board's membership meets the two-parent or grandparent majority without an alteration of the board membership. Second, if your governing board does not meet the requirements or they choose to have an elected council, the governing board must establish an election process and determine the council's membership as stated in R277477 of Utah's administrative rules. Regardless of which option your school chooses, every school is required to have a council with a two-parent or grandparent majority. Your elected council can be at the minimum two elected parents or grandparents. It may or may not include the charter director or charter principal, school employees, and other community members or business partners. It is important to understand that the governing board determines the makeup and election processes for the council in procedures that are available to the public. As stated before, it is important that the council has a two-parent or grandparent majority. Once your council is formed, your Charter Trustline Council has the following responsibilities. First, your council is responsible for posting election procedures on the school's website with other required school website postings. This is a new requirement. Election procedures are created by the Charter Governing Board and must be in place before an election occurs. Also, your council is responsible for ensuring that council meetings follow the open and public meeting requirements that are outlined in 53G 7-1203 of Utah Code. Specifically, it is important to ensure that a majority of the council, or a quorum, must be present at all meetings to conduct business. Your elected council is responsible for also creating a rules of order and procedure that is approved by the council, reviewed annually, and updated as needed and made available to the public at each council meeting on the school's website. Your elected Charter Trustland Council is also responsible for completing all required website postings, including election procedures by October 20th. Most school website postings need to be updated at the beginning of the school year, with only minutes and agendas being updated before each meeting. The council may also consider posting a publicly available Google Doc link on the school website where minutes and agendas may be posted, preventing the need to edit the website frequently. Lastly, your Charter Trustland Council is also responsible for completing the council signature form that is collected by the charter principal or director and retained for 3 years at the school. This document may be requested to resolve a complaint or as part of a compliance review. A clear election procedure is needed for the school to conduct an election of the Charter Trustland Council members. New requirements in board rule providing guidance for election procedures include: first, the election process must state the number of parent or grandparent members to be elected. Second, the election process must state the number of other members, including school employee members, to be elected. The procedure must include a definition for each other member that will be elected. Third, the procedure must address the terms for each position on the council. Fourth, The election procedure must include the time frame of the election. Fifth, the election procedure must address the process for giving notice and conducting the election of council members that are elected by parents of students enrolled at the charter school. And finally, the procedure made by the governing board must address the process for filling unfilled seats following an election or when a member resigns. It is critical that these parameters are established prior to an election and all procedures are followed. The election procedure must be posted on the school's website with the other required website postings by October 20th. In addition to the requirements highlighted on the previous slide, here are a few suggested items to include in your election procedures to help your council when you conduct council elections. You may consider if a parent or a grandparent is also a school employee, will you designate them as a parent member or as another member? You may also consider how ballots will be cast. Will your council use electronic voting or paper voting, and is that system in line with governing board approval? You may also consider how will absentee ballots be handled if they are allowed. You may also consider how will you handle tie votes in an election? What will your process be for electing a chair and vice chair? What allowances will be given to the council to create subcommittees? What are other items that are unique to your school setting that need to be addressed? As a reminder, this list is not required. However, it might be helpful for your council success throughout the school year. Once your council has been elected, they will be responsible for creating a rules of order and procedure, that is, a set of policies and procedures that govern behavior in a public meeting that promote parliamentary order and procedure, ethical behavior, and civil discourse. It is important to note that these rules of order and procedure do not apply to governing boards that are acting as charter land councils. Your council will be responsible for reviewing and adopting through a majority vote their rules of order and procedure to ensure that they support the needs and culture of your school. The rules of order and procedure that are produced by the Chartered Trust Land Council must be made available to the public at each council meeting and posted on the school website. In addition to the required components for rules of order and procedure, it is recommended the council address the following within the document. First, how to handle public comment. Second, the process of adding agenda items. Third, deciding tie votes in a meeting. And finally, addressing other challenges that may arise on the council. Few reminders in regards to council membership, elections, and rules of order and procedure. First, email voting of any kind is not allowed for meeting agenda items. Voting by email is a violation of the Utah Open Public Meeting Act and is not compliant with state code or administrative rule. Second, your council's updated election procedures and rules of order and procedure must be posted on the school website by October 20th annually and must remain accessible to the public throughout the year. In your outline of election processes, it is important that you avoid unclear language and use definitive language, especially in describing your council seating. Avoid words like up to or limited to, and use clear language like there will be 6 parent members and 4 school employees. Third, in regards to council meetings, a majority of the council or a quorum must be present at all meetings to conduct business. For instance, if a council has 6 members, 4 members would be a quorum or a majority and allow the council to conduct its business. To help with correcting election procedure violations, here are several frequently asked questions that might help guide your council in their work for the current school year. As a reference and to check for compliance, your council can find laws related to Charter Trust Land Council elections and rules of order and procedure in Utah Code 53G 71205 and Administrative Rule R277477 as amended. You may be considering what the school should do if your council doesn't have election procedures or the language is not specific enough prior to the 2024-2025 school year elections. The governing board creates them prior to the election, and there are resources on the School Land Trust website to help your school become compliant. If your election procedures are out of compliance, you will need to provide an explanation in the Principal Assurance Form when the Council membership form is submitted on the School Land Trust website that includes what was missing in your election procedures, what steps will the school take this year to ensure compliance, and how will compliance requirements be met in the fall of 2025. To provide additional support, here are three resources that will be helpful in regards to your council's membership, election process, and creation of rules of order and procedure. The links are also available in the description of this video. If you have any additional questions or comments related to the content in this training, please feel free to contact us at the School Land Trust Program Team.